We have Nate Smith on Pure Country. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's CMA Fest week. It's the Super Bowl for country music. Let's go. I'm ready to go.
So, what are you doing to prepare? Because I saw your little schedule. I say little schedule, very large schedule of shows. What do you do to like rest up and just prep yourself for all this craziness? Because there's a lot happening for you.
There's not really a good answer for that. Just trying the best to get sleep as I can and making sure that I stay hydrated, make sure I eat, that kind of stuff. If I feel like crazy, just take a minute and just like, and then get back out there and go for it, because it's going to be kind of ding, ding, ding.
And so, okay, I want to go back to your story is such a cool one and one that I've been following for a while, which has been so fun just to see. But like you didn't just start releasing music and working on music when this all started happening. What was it, 2 years ago? Like you've been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
You came to Nashville when you were 22, I think you
Yeah.
said. And
Yeah.
what was it that kind of forced, like, I'll say like the break that you took from music in between all of this?
Well, like I went through some personal stuff myself. A relationship that ended that was hard for both of us, and it's never easy. That's never an easy thing.
Yeah.
So it was just so tough that I actually needed to move back to California and be with my family, where I'm from. So I'm from Paradise, California, small town. So it was kind of like one of those things where I had a publishing deal, and they were like, if you head back to California, it's over. Like the deal is over because you needed. This is before we were doing Zooms and all this kind of stuff. You had to actually be here, So that's what ended it. So I kind of left with my tail between my legs. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. That's it,
But how important, like now looking back at that time, obviously you probably had moments of like, oh, why did I do this? I should have stayed there or whatever. We all go through those feelings when we make big life-changing decisions. But how important do you think that time was for you now that you look back?
It's weird because it seems like it was setting all this up now that as I look back, like everything's hindsight, right? It's like hindsight's 20/20 vision, they say, or whatever. So like I feel like looking back at my whole life, actually, like I can see like how this moment in time has happened. It is the weirdest thing to see that, down from getting the guitar when I was a kid to like, you know what I mean? Just like it's just strange. It's strange.
So who was that person for you? Because everyone has that moment or a series of moments that kind of sparks the musical interest for them. Was there a person or something or an artist that happened that you heard and you were like, hey, I kind of got this music bug happening?
I mean, my parents always had music on and stuff like that, but I think I remember the first time I can actually remember trying to sing and sound like somebody and do that was with Elvis and Garth Brooks. Those are the two artists that I first like got into, and I had a Talk Boy from Home Alone, the little machine recording thing. I would record myself, listen back. That sucks. Let's do it again. So I was already like comping a vocal, at 9 years. No,
I was like, wow, this is a long time coming.
Cool. And I don't know. I don't know if I ever made a conscious decision that I wanted to pursue music. Like it's just been the thing that I love,
Right. How cool is it that you turn, something that you just love organically into what you get to do for a living? That's the dream.
There's nothing more fulfilling. I mean, that's it,
Yeah. So back in Paradise, California, for people who are just, learning your story and listening to your music for the first time, you went through something obviously horrible, tragic event with the wildfire that went through there, or the campfire that went through there.
Yeah.
Lost your home, personal items. And at that time, you weren't really doing music, were you?
No, not at all.
And so it was, who's this friend that gave you this guitar? Because we need to send him some gifts and thank him.
we do. And I do. He's responsible for a lot of this, honestly. His name's Tom Beaupre. He up until recently, he was playing for Florida Georgia Line for the last like 10 years as a bass player for them. And he was my manager at Starbucks when I first lived in Nashville. So that's how we knew each other.
No way.
Yeah. And then we reconnected, and then he reached out to a company that I guess sponsored FGL for some of their acoustic stuff. And then they said, we'll send Nate a guitar. So they did. And it's actually, this is the one right here. This is the guitar they sent me. And
very gentle with that. That's a very special guitar.
Very special guitar. So that's the one right there from Kala. So it's just crazy. Like this was on my doorstep,
And then that's kind of what made you, obviously you sat down and started playing again and just realized how therapeutic music is. And, for you, but I don't think you probably realized how therapeutic your music would end up being for people.
That's what I realized.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. That's the thing that changed it for me. And I was like, okay, like this is way bigger than me, and it's something that can really help people, and stuff. So it really inspired me. I'm like, gosh, okay, let's get going on this.
So we're going to obviously talk about Whiskey on You. We cannot not talk about that song because it is just blowing up right now. But what do you think, like 22-year-old you that came to Nashville for the first time, I'm sure like starry-eyed and just blown away by this musical town. If you told 22-year-old Nate Smith, like, hey, you're going to debut at the Opry, you're going to, have a song absolutely blow up, you're going to go out on your own headlining tour, you're going to be playing festivals and have massive crowds singing your songs back to you, what do you think that version of Nate would have said?
I think that version of Nate would have been, first of all, really excited, obviously, but I think that version of Nate would have figured out, I would have tried to like figure out how to get there.
Right.
Versus like just allowing,
I
would have tried to figure it out. Like, well, if this is what I'm supposed to, and I probably would have been like, I shouldn't pursue this and pursue this opportunity and that, because it's going to happen here in this many years. And it wouldn't have prepared, it would have messed the whole thing up.
Right. And that's why I feel like that, even though I'm sure those were hard times in between, when you went back home, obviously, to California, but how important they were to get you to where you are right now.
Like 100% had to happen. Like everything had to happen exactly the way it did, like down to the T,
So cool. And well, the song that I watched a video you shared from Denver, you were playing the Whiskey Jam show there, of the crowd singing back to you, I Don't Want to Go to Heaven, which you have now released a version with Tennille Townes, who's one of my favorite humans in the whole world. What is that feeling like? Because, these past 2 years have been so strange with social media, but amazing because you connect with fans, but you don't actually get to really experience that when you're not playing shows. And now you're playing shows and these songs that like you've never heard people sing back to you, the whole crowd is singing it back to you.
It feels like kind of congregational, I guess, in a way. And it feels like we're all having a moment together. Like that's kind of how it feels. And I feel like I'm just one voice out of all the voices that are doing it, so it's kind of like, I don't know, we're having a moment, like it's all of us together, kind of just like singing like this anthem-y kind of, chorus thing, and just, you know what I mean? Like it's not, there's not like, wow, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like, woo, go me.
It's not like that. It's just more like, this is such a rad moment for all of us, Yeah.
And thank goodness we have the ability to like capture those moments, because I think, especially for you, you've had so much happen in such a short period of time that thank goodness for social media and phones and stuff to be able to like remind yourself like, oh my God, yeah, that did happen.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Cause there's a lot of stuff. I wish I had stuff when I was younger, and some stuff I'm glad I don't, mostly.
Yeah. We all have those things that we're like, thank God we don't remember that moment.
Can you imagine?
What's it like for you? Because obviously social media is a huge part of, your day-to-day, your career, your music, it's such an easy way to connect with your fans. What's that experience been like for you? Because it's definitely different than, say 10 years ago when people were releasing music. Your fans, like, they feel like they're your best friends because, you connect with them so much.
They're my best friends and they're my board members.
I love that.
No, like honestly, they are. Yeah. They are, because they're like my executive team. They're like sitting there helping me make decisions and stuff. Like,
yeah, you're like, I want to release a song. Your management and your label's like, I don't know. You're like, well, I'm going to tease it. And then the fans are like, sorry, guys, you're releasing the song.
They've got the power. They've got the power. And it makes my job so easy. Like it really does. All I got to do is show it to them. And then they tell me what they want. And if I do what they want, then it does well,
Right. Is that crazy to you to think like you've put all this time into writing a song, you record it, you put a 30-second clip of it up on TikTok, and like millions of people are like, woohoo, that's crazy how quick, instantaneous that is.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's just the only thing, there's only a few things I can control. I can control the songs that I write. I can control the art. You know what I mean? I can control how much I post certain things, but I can't control what's going to connect with somebody. I can't.
No,
It's just got to be what they like and if they feel it, you know? So it's like when that happens, I'm just thankful. I'm just grateful for it, you know?
for
Because you
sure.
can't make that happen. You can't.
Did you have any inclination that Whiskey on You would do what it's done?
No.
No. You're like, nope.
But I put in a lot of work, you know, and
Yeah.
I really spent the time trying to get it going and stuff. So I mean, I did everything I could on my end, but like I said, at the end of the day, you know, it's up to them.
Right. And obviously, we're super excited because you're going to be playing that song and so many others. In
Not playing it live.
Canada, I was like, you better play it. This summer in Canada. And you haven't played any shows in Canada yet, have you?
I've got multiple shows in Canada coming up, so
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Are you ready? Because like I know you've played some big shows and some rowdy shows, but like Canadian country festivals, that's another level of rowdy.
I'm more than ready. I
Okay, good.
honestly, I feel like I wish I grew up in Canada in a lot of ways because I hate heat so much. I hate the heat. And I know it's a little colder up there. And I think I'd just be happier in general. People are just so polite and
Well,
wonderful.
I think Canadian fans would be happy to just adopt you and bring
I
you
would
over.
love to be an honorary, you know.
I think you are an honorary Canadian because you have a duet with Snail Towns. That I think gets you
Thank
in.
you. Thank you.
Well, I can't wait to get to do this again in person.
Yep.
We'll obviously see you at Boots and Hearts this year. And I just know that Canadian fans, they're resonating with your music so much. So I think it's going to be cool for you to get that experience of going to another country and realizing how much your music has, resonated with fans there too.
I don't know what to expect. Like I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things where like we'll see what happens when I get there, you know.
I have a feeling you'll be blown away. I
I
have
so.
good vibes. I have good vibes. And I get to host. So I get to bring you on stage, which is going to be super fun.
You do at Boots?
Yeah.
No way.
Uh-huh. I know. I'm so
Amazing.
excited. I'm like, I get to hang out with all my friends. It's going to be so fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, last thing I want to say is on your website, my favorite description I've ever read of an artist referring to your voice is Velvet Thunder. And I feel like that's what I want to call you from now on. Your voice is described as Velvet Thunder. And I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard.
I don't know who wrote that, but they said it at the Opry too. They're like Velvet Thunder vocals. I was like, oh God, don't hype this thing up too much, you know.
But you know what? It's an accurate description. Anybody who has not dove into your catalog, go do it because it's all so incredible. I can't pick a favorite song, and I just can't wait to get to bring you on stage in Canada.
All right, I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to it. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Nate.